Welcome again to another episode of the WSXM. So you don't know, my name is Teflon. Thanks for returning. So let's dive into it. On June 3rd of this year, 2024, um, this in Zimbabwe, a gruesome tragedy happened. It was not even publicized on the media. I don't know how I came across this by accident, where a U.S. diplomat, Eric Kempton, that's him there. He's a second in command at the embassy. He was driving a diplomatic vehicle in Zimbabwe, in the city of, in the capital, close to the capital of Hahira, the capital, 20 miles from the capital, where there's a town named Dema. He was driving a vehicle. A 11-year-old girl was walking to school. 11 years old. He was speeding, he knocked her down and alive her. He didn't even stop to check. He fled the scene and he ran and fled back to the embassy. When the mother hear the crying of the neighborhood and she ran out, she came across her child's body, lifeless body there. You can imagine the hurt, the pain, how that mother is traumatized by seeing your 11-year-old daughter there, lifeless body. Then, by the time the police officers came and they started to investigate and they found out what happened, they went to the embassy to give some information. They stated to the police that because of the accident, he's not feeling good, so they must come back the following day. Following day came, the police returned. What the US did, the US embassy did, take Eric Campton and his family, ship him back to the States, and their excuse was he's traumatized, he need counseling. So you tell me, take a good look at that man. Does a man like that look like someone who could be traumatized? You tell me he's traumatized, so you have to just ship him out because of diplomatic immunity. So we can't touch him. But the mother of the child, who is distraught, who is more traumatized, what? She must fend for herself. This is the thing with America. Zimbabwe is heavily sanctioned by the Americans, heavily sanctioned, and they cut them out of a few programs. They kick them out of certain programs because of the whole LGBTQ rights thing they're pushing on. Because of that, Zimbabwe is against it. They sanction them heavily anyway. So Zimbabwe don't have no pull when it comes down to pressuring the Americans to return the guy to face justice, because all the mother is asking for is an apology. That's how soft-hearted the mother is. All she needed was an apology. Instead, they gave her 2,000 US dollars to bury her child. So her life is only worth $2,000 to them. So this is how this is what they call democracy. This is what the Americans call justice. Because if this happened in the States, flip it around. Zimbabwe diplomat was in the States driving a diplomatic vehicle and run and knocked down anyone and fled the scene. They will literally knock the door down to get to him. They wouldn't care of diplomatic immunity. That's how they operate, because they don't fear Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe don't have an army. Zimbabwe economically can't do nothing to them, and they don't have much resources that the Americans want. So they don't have no pull. But yet, if this was like a South Africa, or if this was even Burkina Faso, effective immediately, they would close on all embassy. All diplomats would have to leave the country, and that's what President Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe, surprises me, because this you make just basically sweep under the rug. You don't say nothing about this, and there was no uproar about this. This should be plastered all over social media, especially in Zimbabwe. I've had U.S. diplomat analyzing a young 11-year-old girl and get away scot free, and only gave her $2,000, and they basically say, well, it's what they said, what they released a statement saying sorry for the hurt on both sides, some shit like that. That's their response to that, because they don't care, because what Zimbabwe can do anything to them basically. And this is where a president of a country steps in to defend his people. If it was any other country, like the Sahel state, anyone of the Sahel states, they would effective immediately evict every single diplomat, ambassador, everybody, and close the embassies and ship them out and tell them leave my country. But I don't know what's happening with President Mnangagwa. This is why he need to retire, give up his presidency to the younger generation to continue, because he's what this there's the Americans are taking too much liberty of Zimbabwe. Too much liberty they're taking. They're taking too much. They're doing too much to Zimbabwe to not having any repercussions. And this is why we should make all American bases in every African countries depart, because President Museveni of Uganda stated a while back that he was explaining the contract they was going to sign with him to have the US base in Uganda. And he was saying, they tell him anything, whenever, once you have a base in the country, anything the army does, any member of the army goes anywhere in the country, if they commit a crime, if they unalive someone, if they grape someone, you cannot touch them. You have to leave the American army come take them and discipline them themselves. You cannot lock them up, you cannot prosecute them, nothing. So President Mnangagwa stated, no, sorry, President Museveni stated, so if the same thing happened in the States from my um, embassy in the States, will it apply? They said no. So it doesn't apply to the Americans in America, but it applies to to the to any member of the army in these African countries where they have bases. So this is what I'm talking about. This is why they hate the Sahel states, because effective immediately, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali expel all foreign bases, French, American. Only the Russians are there who are actually helping them. They kick out the Germans, they kick out the Ukrainians. So it's only the Russians there. So for show you, this is how they see Africa. Until you get presidents who can stand up and fight for their people, we won't have any change. And this is where the Sahel state is, they're a beacon in on the continent to show them, to see what a true leader can accomplish when he have his people behind him, for one, and two, when he's steadfast, he does not borrow money from the World Bank or the IMF. He does not take any aid money from no other country. They don't take no gifts from no other country. They buy everything they want and they spend their own money and develop their own country. That's what a true leader does. And that's what the Americans use to trap a country's aid money. So that aid money, it comes with a lot of strings attached. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section, where you see a US citizen unalive a Zimbabwean 11-year-old and he get away scot free. And he's the one who's traumatized. He's the one who's counseling. But to hell with the parents. And imagine that they only gave her $2,000 for just the audacity of these people. Oh boy. I'm not, I'm more outraged than sad. Because sad, yes, for the child. I don't know. I don't really know the child, but it still hurt that that child passes, an innocent child, in a that died in a that got unalive in a avoidable manner. But I'm more outraged for the response by the citizens, the president. No strike was happening. No protest to shut down the embassy. No, the president did not say nothing. Only a few politicians, I think, had voiced their opinion. Because I see a video of it somewhere, but not to my liking. This should be plastered all over social media, all over African news, to make they see what these people are doing. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. What's your thoughts on this? Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Boom.